I hope you're rested and ready for the new season. I don't think we really got the most out of the team last year. The car didn't really improve as I would have liked. Let's try and do better this time.
Well, I actually thought we did rather well. Some races, thank you, Carl. Oh, we had some development failures. Let's have a look. Ah, we lost the weight reduction. Never mind. We're forecast. Oh, look at that. Wet. It's gonna be a wet race. That's interesting. So it doesn't really matter what tyres we qualify on then. Right then. Welcome everyone to season 2 of F1 2018. Another season with the Williams team. You can see we got our contract in place, so we can basically go after whatever we like. We're still rivals with our teammate and Kevin Magnussen. It's always good. And you see we're now not far off the Alfa Romeo Sauber team. So we got the powertrain upgrade we wanted. Fantastic. We can work on some minor developments there. We got the aero packages that we wanted as well. We can work on some of that. In fact, let me do some totaling up here. So we've got 565, so that's 1060 plus 720 times 3, so that's 2140 plus 10, what was it, 1060? No, 1120. So 2140 plus 1120 is 3260 plus that. So we're looking at about 4,000 resource points we need. Okay, that's going to be a bit tough, but we'll see what we can do there. Of course, the way we do that is by getting all the practice sessions done, so that there's no issues. Everything's back to fresh. That's what we like to see, and everything's back to normal as far as the standings are concerned. There's season 1's look. So you can see we got some good results at good races. Certainly the power circuits. Sakia, Montreal, Catalunya, Paul Ricard, Silverstone, Hockenheim, Spa, Monza, Sochi, Austin, Mexico. The highlight of our season, that win at Interlagos. Doesn't get any better than that. So we're about to go do some practice, and then we'll see you for qualifying, and then for the race. Right, let's go and get this lap sorted, shall we? And if I'm being honest, I'm pretty confident. Unless Mercedes and Red Bull were hiding something. We seemed to be on the pace of the Haas's, not too far off Ferrari's pace, but certainly I think we could spring a surprise or two. We slide it through turn 5. As long as we get a decent spot so that when the race comes, we're there and we're ready. Give the chicane plenty of aggression now. Watch us through this chicane. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. They gave us a corner cutting warning. That's fine. Yeah, we were around the time that Ocon's just set. So if we could be anywhere near that, we'll gladly have that. In fact, we were more closer to Van Dorn's time there. I think cars were weak saucing it here, personally. But we come across the line 22.7.
Put in the fastest lap.
Yikes! That's faster than we were going in practice. Oh, I'm happy with that time. Let's see where that puts us. Okay, maybe I'm not so happy with that time. But it looks like the cars that were... Yeah, it looks like we're 3/10 ahead the Sauber. That's not too bad. We can take that. Qualified in 15th. Do we just make 15th? Yes. Oh, Ericsson got close. Oh, you don't want to be that close. So we lose Ericsson, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Van Dorn and Stroll. Right, I want to go on to Q2 then. Right, let's see if we can get into Q3, shall we? We've got that extra set of Ultra Softs, which is good if we need them. So, bit more engine power. And we'll get straight out there. See if we can put together a little bit more of a tidier lap as well. Especially with that rain that's coming tomorrow. So we've already exceeded qualifying position, which was 18th. How much farther can we go as we see a Sauber coming out of the pit road? That must be Charles Leclerc. Have to back off the throttle slightly. Trail the brake through 3 and 4. Oh, good lord, there's that slide again. I think Charles actually slightly getting in the way here. As we get way too aggressive into turn, I think it was 9. Again too aggressive. Charles lets us through, finally. If this is even close to Bottas's time, I'll be surprised. Again wide 15, now through the last corner on the DRS, down to the line. We're not even close. We are not even close, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have to go again on the Ultras. Yeah, we're not even in the top 10. We're 12th, so we're last, basically. So we'll get another set of Ultras on.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 23.0.
Track's a bit busy at the moment. Well, it's not so busy now, so we'll get out there and try and get this lap done. Hopefully we bump into no one that's coming out the pit lane. Looks like I thought I saw somebody coming out. Nope, they're all staying in, so that's good. Leclerc's coming out now. Sainz is out the pits as well. As we get a big tank slapper through turn 1. That's going to lose us time. Stay away from the curb in 5, but in doing so we go on the outside curb. And I think that is going to be 15th place. Or maybe even 14th. Although in saying that, we are gaining some time now. in the middle
We
sector.
have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
I don't think it matters so much. No, we've lost it big time, and that's the end of our session.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
Ah, dear. That's the walk of shame. But will be P14. Oh, Hamilton's out of that session as well. So we lost out to Magnussen there, which is a bit of a shame. But we can hope to try and beat him in the race on Sunday. So we'll go and get that done. Well, at least I didn't have to bump into what's her face. We're drawing with Magnussen at the moment, beating Stroll. That's good. There's some good points. So if we wanted to, we could actually buy the chassis upgrade now. But I think we'll wait.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
That was a pretty good qualifying performance. The strategy for this race is like nail the start, lead out of turn 1, win by miles. Any questions? Yeah. How'd you do that from 14th? Jeff. Oh, you haven't got a clue, have you? So how much is it to do the chassis already? 1080. We could do that now. Yeah, that would then be ready for China at least. So basically we're now race accumulating for whatever. So let's go get it done.
Cars and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. We're a stone's throw from the enormous Port Phillip Bay for today's race at the 3.3-mile Albert Park circuit. It's a bumpy racing surface here, and the 16 corners.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about DRS today.
In the wet conditions. Watch out for a safety car at some point during the Grand Prix. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver.
There, you can barely see him.
Former world champion, and dare I say it, all-round top bloke as well. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, and it's gone and rained on us. I imagine that that's not especially helpful for the teams, who are still trying to figure out, of course, what kind of performance they're all capable of.
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here. I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, in regards to the weather, you're absolutely right. You know, we've just come here off the back of testing. It's the first opportunity to really gauge where the reliability is, where the performance is, how you stack up against your competitors in the Grand Prix, and now it all has to be kind of put on hold for a bit. So now the question becomes, who can be adaptable? Who has the wet weather pace, and who can make best use of these difficult circumstances to come out on top in these conditions?
He done
We're
Ant.
almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Grosjean, Carlos Sainz, and Magnussen, Perez, Hartley, Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc, Bottas, Gasly, Poole, and Alonso. Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty. Ericsson, Esteban Ocon, and Nico Hülkenberg. Van Dorn and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, we qualified higher than we were anticipating. Let's see if we can do just as well in the race.
I would like to think we can do just as well in the race, Jeff. We've qualified basically 13th. Magnussen's not too far ahead of us. I think we're good to go. So let's go race. Let's see if we can bring home a decent finish. And it's lights out, away we go. We've got a good start. We're right up behind Gasly. Illegal overtake on Magnussen.
Okay, you need to give that position back. That was an illegal overtake.
Well, I can't give it back. Look how far he is. I don't think that was an illegal overtake as well, so 5 seconds stop-go penalty. Yeah, and the rest. I think you want to check the replay. I took young Magnussen very fairly there. I've just remembered there's something coming soon. But we're in P5. Will we be by the end of the race? Oh, now here comes Magnussen.
Well done, mate. Nice start.
I think that was a nice start as well, personally. As we go very wide. We've got Magnussen now all over our rear end. Vettel sets the fastest lap of the race. I'm going to say we can't have been that far behind him. I'll tell you now, if Magnussen even gets close, I'm ripping his wing off. As we get right up to the back of Grosjean, we had to make a very late move. And now we're up into P4. We've gone wide in turn 5. We have to make a very, very late move there on Grosjean. And I think he's going to pay us back in a second. But no, we are in P4 now. Pretty respectable area to be in, I would say. As we go through the chicane, you've got to give them curves some respect. Next up for us, if we get there, will be Danny Ricciardo. I doubt we will. I'd really like to keep Grosjean behind us if we can. It'd be of interest if we could. And now here we go, down to turn 3. Grosjean was thinking about a move, but stays well back. And there's into turn 3. Getting nicely on the power. Through 5, that's how you take turn 5. We're pulling away from Roman Grosjean. I'd be interested to see the gap to Magnussen. As we come through the chicane, we're going to have Grosjean over our rear, but we pull away from Grosjean again. And now through the chicane, Grosjean's still on our tail, but we lose Grosjean again. It's it's all looking very good for a 4th place finish. I don't know how far Magnussen is back, but we're certainly pulling away as the sun starts to come out. Will the weather play a factor in this, I wonder? We've got to be a good 3-4 seconds ahead of Magnussen. As we go through the first corner, pulling away from Grosjean slightly. I think it's amazing this Williams in these conditions can keep ahead of the Haas. Because the Haas has really come on leaps and bounds since last season. Then again, that is the Ferrari B-Spec car. As we go, whoa, big slide through into the chicane. Big slide into that chicane as we go through this chicane. Grosjean's still behind us, but we're keeping our distance again. I reckon if we can keep our distance to Grosjean, Magnussen should be no problem. And now the back end of the car sliding about. Already. Bit wide in turn 50, I think that's turn 15. Very hard to remember some of these corners sometimes.
We're expecting you in around 2 laps, and we'll be putting you on the intermediate tyres.
Jeff, I'm telling you now, the wear on these tyres looks pretty good, so I don't think we'll be coming in. That's our little spoiler for the day as we come. I don't know if we're catching Ricciardo. It'd be nice if we were catching Ricciardo, but I don't think we are. We're certainly pulling away from Grosjean.
Okay, we need some energy harvesting. Reduce ERS deployment.
No.
Right, some information on Grosjean. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
And Grosjean's just died. That's going to really hinder Kevin Magnussen if he gets in Magnussen's way.
Okay, clear. Okay, gap ahead is 4.3 seconds.
What's the gap? The gap to Magnussen's 5.4, so that's good. We keep 4th place then. If we drive sensibly, we can keep 4th place and beat Kevin Magnussen. So what happened to Grosjean? I wonder if his engine just decided to have a word. But the good news is if we keep pulling away from Magnussen,
the gap to the leader is 12.2 seconds.
Keep pulling away from Magnussen, and I think we've got this. It's 5.3 to Kevin Magnussen. If Perez can get interested with him, with Leclerc and Hamilton right behind him, this Williams can pull off a result. As we get something itchy in our nose. That's not helpful. Whoa, big slide!
The heavy rain will pass in about 5 minutes. We'll then be working with light rain conditions. The gap behind us is 5.8 seconds.
Oh, it's not 5.8 now, Jeff. Trust me. After that slide, I'll bet you it's 3 point something. How much time did we lose to Magnussen? 3.8, we lost 2 seconds to Magnussen, but we've got to pull back. So let's try some neat driving now. There's a novel idea, neat driving in the rain.
We want to pit this lap, so push now.
You may want to pit now, I don't want to pit now. The gap already back up to 4.1. So I do think we've got the legs on Magnussen if we want it. As we give the back end a little kick around in turn 3. Everything seems to feel all right at the moment.
Fuel is looking really good. You're managing it well.
We're managing the fuel, which is always good to hear. It's now 4.7. So, bloody hell, we're really making strides on Magnussen. We're in a race of 1. A race of 1, and that's how we like it. Now the gap's at 4.9, so it's nearly back up to the 5 seconds it was at before. We like to make things difficult for ourselves sometimes. It's always nice to see a nice clear track in front of me. Vettel sets the fastest
The
lap.
battery is low on energy. Reduce ERS deployment.
They want me in the pits, it ain't happening. Something tells me no one else is pitting. Excuse me. In fact, I think we're dropping Magnussen.
Gap to car in front is 8.2 seconds.
It's 8.2 to Ricciardo. The gap to Magnussen 5.2. So, yeah, why fix what ain't broke? As we get some bad singing in the background. That singing was so bad, it made Kimi Raikkonen look good. Another little slide. 5.6 the gap. So we're beating Magnussen in the first sector. We're just about matching him in the second sector. But we're doing all our work in the sectors that matter. .2 the gap to Magnussen now. I think if we can keep the gap at about 5.2, we'll gladly take that. Or is Magnussen sucking us in? I hope not, because that would be really mean of Kevin Magnussen.
Vettel's in first place.
He's got a trophy. I didn't even see what the gap to Magnussen was. Vettel's in first place, is he? Well, Vettel can stay in first place unless Vettel wants to decide to do a Grosjean for me. And big slide through the chicane. Gap at 6.2. We're definitely gaining time on Magnussen. He's in a fight with Perez and Leclerc, and Hamilton will be joining that fight soon. We've got 9.8 to Ricciardo. The gap's down to 5.6. I think no one's pitting. No one's pitting, I think, personally. Vettel sets another fastest lap of the race. If that is the case, no one's pitting. We pulled off the race-winning move at the start of the race.
Happy that we're on the right tyres at the moment?
They're happy we're on the right tyres.
The gap to the car ahead is 10.4 seconds.
It's 10.4 to Ricciardo.
We're leading our teammate by
5.7
25.3
to
seconds.
Magnussen. It's all looking good at the moment. All good in the hood. As we get another slide through turn 5. He's happy we're still on the right tyres though. There's a slide. What's the gap to Magnussen now? 6.2 again.
Battery charge is low. If we turn down the ERS deployment, we can harvest more energy.
6.2 to Magnussen. As we go through the chicane onto the big kick towards the fast chicane.
Pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach. The gap to the car behind is 5.8 seconds.
Jeff, no one else is pitting. No one else is pitting, we may as well stay out. Now I did just see a car with Daniel Ricciardo as we go very wide in the penultimate corner. I'm hoping that doesn't screw us over anything. But it might do.
Our gap to first place is 25.1 seconds.
As they say, Vettel has checked out. 5.5 to Magnussen, that's good. I wonder if that car in front of Ricciardo is Grosjean.
Fuel remaining.
As we just get a bit heavy on the brakes into turn 3. We're going to give that curb a bit of respect. And now the gap to Magnussen is 6.1. So we gain about 0.6 of a second in the first sector, and that's what's helping us out. If Perez and Leclerc can fight Magnussen, it'll help us out even more.
Our gap to the car in front is 12.5 seconds.
Ricciardo seems to have checked out. That's fine with us. The gap's still 6.1. See, he's getting involved in a fight with Perez. That's what we like to see. Because now we can just pull away. Pull away nicely. 4 to go when we come across the line. We might be able to do a little fuel saving. Gap is 6.5, yeah. Perez is really dealing with Kevin Magnussen for us. This could be a pretty impressive 4th place, I must say. The tyres don't feel too bad. If anything, I think they feel pretty good.
Vettel's the race leader.
6.8 now the gap to Perez. So we only lost 0.3 in that section, which I find surprising. Now it's down to 6.5. But He's still being harassed.
Okay, we think the effects of the tyre deg are going to kick in soon. We should be alright for the time being, but you will start to find it a bit more slippery out there.
A bit more slippery, just how I like it. As we come to get 3 to go. What's the gap to Kevin Magnussen? Somebody. 7.1.
This rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future.
Light rain for the foreseeable future. We just need to keep it parked on the island. Don't give it any heroics. If you're going to run wide, straighten it out at least. .3 the gap now. And our first proper slide out of the chicane.
Reduce the ERS deployment, please. We need to charge the battery.
So it looks like the podium is
3 laps
set.
of fuel remaining.
K-Mag and Perez are still having a good fight. Coming to get the 2 to go when we cross the line. It's going to be interesting to see how much faster than Magnussen we are now.
The car behind is
7.3.
dropping back by about 0.3 a lap.
He's still embroiled in a fight with Perez. I would rather it was Hamilton he was having a fight with, because at least that would be a challenge. No disrespect to Perez, because Perez is a pretty decent driver.
Okay, gap ahead is 14.2 seconds.
Yeah, but Ricciardo's checked out on us, so that's a bit unfortunate. 7.7 now to Magnussen. If we could just hold on to these tyres. What are the tyres like? They're wearing. They are wearing. Just don't bin it. 7.5 to Magnussen. You get a nice proper slide out of turn 12, I think that was. He still wants us in. It's not going to happen. We're coming to get the 1 to go. Check.
This is your final lap of the race.
Final lap. Everything seems normal. It's 7.5 seconds to Magnussen. We haven't seen Grosjean come back to us, so he must have got his problems fixed. As we go green in the first sector. Big slide again.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
7.9 to Magnussen. Any moment now we'll get the signal Vettel's won the Australian Grand Prix. And there it is. So GG to Sebastian. Raikkonen then pinches his fastest lap. Should be Danny Ricciardo coming home third. And then look who's coming home fourth from 13th on the grid. They've got a 5-second penalty to put on our car by the time we're done, but we'll take fourth in the Australian Grand Prix. It's a great result for Williams today.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
That's going to be worth some boosty bonuses.
Great effort there from Ferrari.
Congratulations to Arrivederci.
So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
So,
Excuse
here
me.
they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today.
It is Ferrari
It's
on top.
Ferrari on the top step once more.
So it's congratulations to Vettel, Raikkonen and Ricciardo. I don't think we had anything for them today, but we had plenty for everyone else.
And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Sebastian Vettel takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson,
me.
who was your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Paul. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari moved to the top of the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So it's GG to Sebastian, Raikkonen, Ricciardo. We finished fourth, even with that 5-second penalty. There's Magnussen in fifth, so we beat him. Perez, Leclerc with a 7th place finish. Look at that, beating both of the Mercedes today, and Verstappen as well. Ericsson so close to Marcus Ericsson, but so far. Hartley made a stop. Well, that was stupid. And the only car, well, he still finished. He was a lap down. Right, let's go, and I imagine we're going to be interrupted by a wee Scottish
Fans
bird.
really seemed to enjoy that. You made it look easy.
See, I told you to interrupt us.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be
Yes,
thrilled.
I'm very fan. This one was for the fans, this one.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
We certainly were cutting our way through the field. When we had so much grip.
The weather was miserable today, but do you feel this was an advantage for you?
You know what? They separate the champions from the rest of the field.
That was an epic battle today. How do you think this will play out?
Well, between me and Magnussen, it's going to be a battle for the ages, but in the end, I will make him my...
Great. Well, that's everything.
And I think he just walked past me. He walked past me, he wanted to punch my lights out then, but unfortunately I wasn't going to let him. I'll grab him by his crash helmet and it would be then seriously on. Neither one of us were penalty free apparently. So we're both just as bad as each other. Oh, so close. Look at that. Everyone's rep goes up, apart from Ferrari and Red Bull, who are not impressed. We're a proper showman, we
Great
are.
work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up. We've received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend.
We're turning into a proper showman now. Let's see what we can do. Can we do anything with the rear wing? We can't at the moment, unfortunately. Can we buy that? No, we can't. I thought we could, but can we buy? No, we can't buy that. So it looks like we're going to have to settle what we got for Bahrain, which is good. So let's take a look at your current... Look at that, 5th place finish. 4th place even. So there's your current championship. And look at that, Williams in 3rd. Can we... We're beating Mercedes. We're schooling them. But it's nice to see Sauber have already got off and underway with their points. I'm sure Gasly and company will get there soon. But that's going to be the end of this race. So thank you for watching. And we shall see you for the next race in Sakhir. So take care, everyone.